Hey, good morning everybody. So I'd like to start today actually sitting on your shins. If you have knee or ankle issues, this may not be comfortable for you, and then you are welcome to stay in your seated position, your cross-legged seated position instead. If you're comfortable to sit on the shins, you can also pop a pillow underneath your sitting bones to make it a little bit more comfortable, or even open the legs wider and place a pillow between the knees, and that might be more comfortable for you as well. So whatever position you're in, you want to lift your spine up nice and tall, coming into a neutral back. You can rest the hands onto the thighs, taking a mudra if it feels good. Take a nice big inhale breath, and exhale to close your eyes. Let's take a few deep breaths here, settling into body, connecting to the mind. Noticing all the various sensations. Setting your intention for today's practice. Thinking about what it is that has brought you here onto your mat. What brings you to your mat time and time again. And then placing an image of your intention into the space between the eyebrows, so that you can gaze inwardly and upwardly at your intention. Holding connection to this intention as we take 3 rounds of Kapalabhati breath. Kapalabhati is a forceful exhale with a passive inhale, breathing in and out through the nose only. We'll take about 10 rounds for the first go, then increase to 15, and then increase to 20 in the final round. We're taking a nice big breath in, and a big breath out. Half breath in, and begin. Exhale, chin to chest. Find lightness in this space. And then inhale. Big breath out. Half breath in. And begin. Exhale, chin to chest. Hold the breath in and start to lift into the bandhas, lifting the pelvic floor, lifting into the lower belly, slightly tucking chin in to create an energetic lock. Let's inhale to lift the face. Big breath out. Half breath in. And begin. Exhale, chin to chest. Locking into bandhas. And I'll start to draw the lower belly in even more, almost as though you're creating a concave suction effect. Let's inhale to release. And then holding in stillness for a few moments, connect into Ujjayi breath again. Feeling the warmth of your Kapalabhati moving around your body. Feeling more alert, more expansive. And then slowly opening your eyes. If you've been sitting in your cross-leg position, you're now going to shift over to come onto the shins. And on the inhale breath, you're going to float the hands up to the sky. Interlock the fingers and turn the palms to face up. Start to press into the tops of the feet as you lift all the way up onto the knees. Reach the body as tall as you can, extending upright. Let's inhale, reaching over from knee all the way across the side body to the tip of the finger. Inhale to center, over to the other side. Inhale to center, drawing the hands together at the heart. Reaching left hand forward, right hand back. And center, reaching over to the other side. Right hand forward, left hand back. And center. And then opening the elbows into cactus, lifting through the heart. Drawing the hands behind the back. Interlock your fingers here as you roll the shoulder blades tightly together. Start to lift the hands away from the body, but also reaching them down towards the heels. Squeeze your thighs and start to tilt back just gently. We're going to move from here into rabbit pose. So tuck your chin to your chest, rounding into the back, lifting the hands to the sky as you bring your head comfortably to the floor. Keep lifting those arms, lifting the hips. Exhale the hips down to the heels and reach the fingers out in front of you into child's pose. Sliding the right shoulder underneath the chest in threaded needle. And then inhale that hand forward, switching to the other side. Inhale to the center, rounding the spine as you come up onto hands and knees. Open the knees slightly for tabletop and then flow through cat-cow pose. Come back into neutral spine, floating up right arm and left leg. Extending fingers forward, extending heel back. Lift through lower belly. On the inhale, take the hand behind you, holding to the foot, and then kicking the leg up to the sky. Kick your foot slightly back to help pull the chest open. Turn the gaze forward and open the throat, open the heart. Let's inhale to extend the arm and the leg out and forward and back. And then exhale just the hand to the floor as you inhale the leg to the side. Flexing that foot as you lift the foot up nice and high. Looking at the toes, keep the arms straight. And then exhale to lower the foot in line with your knee. Inhaling, coming up onto the knee, reaching the arms either side of you. Let's inhale. Extend the fingers down the leg. reaching that side torso. And then inhale to center, over to the other side. Right hand to the floor, left arm reaching over the ear. Extending from heel to crown. Inhale, raise the hand back to the sky, and then float your foot off the floor. You can stay here, or you can bend the knee, holding onto the foot, and opening up through the chest, gently arching back. Let's inhale, floating the hand and the leg up, and then sweep the hand forward, coming back down onto hands and knees for tabletop. On the inhale breath, sitting back into the heels, floating the hands overhead. Interlocking the fingers as you turn the palms to face up. Press firmly into the shins as you now float up onto both knees. Leaning over to your left hand side. Back to the center. Leaning over to the right hand side. And back to center. Hands together at the heart. Reaching right hand forward, left hand back. Inhale to center, left hand forward, right hand back. And inhaling to center, opening the elbows into cactus. And then bringing the hands behind you, interlocking fingers. Roll the shoulder blades tightly together as you lift open through the heart. Making your way into rabbit pose by tucking chin to chest, rounding the back, engaging the core to lower. Lift the hips, lift the hands. Make sure the head is very light. Sink your hips to your heels and reach the arms out in front of you. Open the knees a bit wider and sink the hips even lower. Threading the needle, sliding the right arm underneath the chest. Inhaling to center and sliding the left arm under the chest. Inhaling to center, rounding the spine to come up into tabletop. Check the alignment here, and then flowing through cat-cow pose. Making your way now into neutral spine. We're going to float up, left arm, right leg. Engaging into lower belly as you kick the heel away. Bringing your hand back to hold onto the foot, and then lifting the chest open, lifting the leg up to the sky, kick the foot back and up. Let's inhale to extend arm and leg, and then exhale just the hand to the mat. Inhale the foot open to the side. See if you can float the leg. You're very welcome to lower it if that's better for you. You can look at the toes, kick the heel away as you straighten the body, and then releasing the foot down in line with your supporting knee and floating up. Reaching the hands either side of you, and then lowering your hand onto the straight leg. Let's inhale to center, bringing the left hand down and the right arm over. Stretch from heel to finger. Inhale the hand up to the sky and float the leg up as well. You can stay here or come into sugarcane by bending the knee and holding the foot. Curving the spine open. Let's inhale, floating up, and then exhale to sweep the hand back down to the mat into tabletop. Tucking toes, lift your knees off the floor, slide your hips all the way back to the heels. Start to lift the hips from here, straightening the legs as you go. And then heel toe the feet, working out tension in the hamstrings, the ankles and the toes. Shake your head yes, shake your head no, and then sinking both heels down to the floor. Take one full round of breath in your Adho Mukha Svanasana. Looking between the hands, little steps all the way to the front of the mat, opening up through the chest. Stick the tailbone out as you reach your head forward. As you exhale, forward fold down to the mat. Knees can be bent, soft or straight. Lift halfway up again, floating fingers up. Very welcome to come to the shin bones, give you a bit more space. And then exhale to forward fold. From here, bend your knees, flop your head, flop your arms, completely release the torso. Press heavily into the heels as you gently push your body to a standing position. Pressing from the heels, lifting from the shoulders. Head, neck and shoulders relaxed until you're all the way up to stand. Coming into your Tadasana now. Engaging from the heels all the way up to the crown of the head. Fingers are active, core muscles are active, working glutes, working thighs, even engaging into the calf muscles. Feel the feet pressing to the floor from big toe side to baby toe side, front and back. On the inhale breath, reaching the hands overhead, looking up towards your fingers, and then exhale to forward fold, reaching the head towards the earth. Make sure your neck is long. On the inhale, floating halfway up into a flat back, and exhale to forward fold. Stepping the right leg into lunge, opening up through the chest, and then inhale back into a plank pose, engaging into lower belly. Let's drop knees, chest and chin to the floor, and then slide the elbows down to lift the heart in Sphinx. Point the toes behind you as you puff up through the heart center. Exhale to release back down and slide your way into child's pose. One breath in child's pose. And then back into downward facing dog. On the inhale breath, float the right leg to the sky and roll the ankle a few times here. Change the direction of the roll. Exhale, knee to face, face to knee, rounding the upper back. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, knee to face, and then stepping the foot forward into lunge. Inhale together, flat back. And exhale to forward fold. Sliding the hands all the way to the sky. Turn your gaze up as you look to the ceiling. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Stepping your left leg into lunge. and then right leg into plank. Lowering knees, chest and chin, sliding all the way down onto tummy, elbows to the floor as you open in Sphinx pose. Point the toes and then press the hands into the floor to lift the elbows off the mat. Dropping elbows back down, hands under shoulders, sliding into child's pose. One round of breath here. And then downward facing dog. Taking left leg to the sky, rolling ankle clockwise, rolling ankle anti-clockwise. Exhale, knee to face, face to knee. Inhale to lift. Exhale, knee to face, face to knee, and then stepping the foot between the hands into lunge. Inhale together, flat back. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale the hands all the way up to the sky. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping right leg into lunge, and inhale into plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin, and then sliding into cobra, keeping the hands on the mat. Point the toes, drop the elbows to the waist, and puff the heart center open. Exhale, tucking toes and lifting up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky, and exhale, stepping the foot forward, warrior one. Squaring the hips to the front of your mat, lift up out of the lower back. Drawing the hands behind you, interlock your fingers here, roll the shoulder blades tightly together. Keep pushing your left hip forward, your right hip back. Exhale to forward fold in between the thighs. Keep squaring the hips off, pushing that left hip a little bit more forward, the right hip a little bit more back. On your inhale breath, lifting halfway up, release the fingers either side of the front foot and straighten your front leg. Step the back foot in just a little bit, squaring your hips, reaching your head forward, your tailbone back, and exhale to forward fold. If you don't have the space to forward fold, stay in your flat back and work on creating a lengthened position from tailbone to crown. Let's inhale, coming back up halfway, and then stepping back into plank. Lowering knees, chest and chin. Sliding into cobra. And exhaling back into downward facing dog. Let's inhale the left leg to the sky and stepping the foot forward, warrior one. Lift up out of that lower back. At the same time, you keep anchoring the baby toe side of the back foot. Neither leaning forward nor backward, but drawing the spine straight up. Let's draw the hands behind you, interlocking fingers. And then exhale, humble warrior, inside the thigh. Square your hips. Lift the arms. Let your head become heavy. Lifting halfway up, bring the hands either side of the front foot. Inhale, straighten the front leg and step the back foot in slightly. Both toes pointing to the front of the mat, square the hips. Lengthen head away from the sitting bones, and if you have space, you can fold. Squeezing the inner thighs. Keep anchoring through that back heel. Let's inhale, halfway lift, stepping back into plank. And then lowering knees, chest and chin. Inhaling, cobra. Holding your cobra for a moment, engage into the quads and the glutes. Press the pubic bone towards the floor and float the heart center up. Let's turn the gaze over one shoulder. Back to center, over the other shoulder. And back to center. Tuck the toes, lifting up, downward facing dog. Let's take a few breaths in our down dog. On your inhale breath, walk, step or hop, flat back. And exhale to fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale to fold. Inhale the hands all the way up. Lengthening nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, left leg steps back, followed by right. You can add in chaturanga now, or knees, chest, chin, up dog, or cobra. Remember, up dog is with no knees on the floor. And back into downward facing dog. On the inhale, taking the right leg to the sky. And exhale the foot forward, warrior two. Cartwheeling the hands open to the side of your mat. Slide the feet away from one another and check on both feet that the baby toe side of the foot is anchoring down. Checking that the big toe side of the foot is anchoring down. That the ball of the foot and the heel are anchoring, and that the arch of the foot feels as though it's lifting, so you're sort of gripping a suction cup into the floor. Let's inhale, reclining warrior. And then pivoting forward for Parsvakonasana. Reach from heel to fingertip, keeping your chin just slightly in towards the armpit. You'll feel when you're in the right space with the neck, it'll be comfortable. You're very welcome to bring your hand down to the ankle or maybe to the mat. See if you can sink your hips just a little bit lower. Let's inhale back up, warrior two. And then straighten the front leg. One heel, one toe of the back foot, shortening the stance just a little bit. Let's reach forward for Trikonasana. Once you can't reach any further forward, dropping the hand to the shin or the ankle. Rotate the chest open here. Imagine that you're between two sheets of glass. The back body is straight, the front body is straight. Working hip and head in opposite directions. Inhale to lift yourself back up and into reclining warrior. Reclining triangle pose. Keeping the front leg straight. Inhale back to center, re-bend the front knee. You can shorten the stance even more, just a little bit. Bring the back hands to your hip and now reach your front arm as far forward as you can go. Bringing the fingers in line with the baby toe side, about 20 centimeters in front of the foot. Let's float that back leg up, turning the toes to face sideways on the mat. Kick your heel and your head in opposite directions, finding tensegrity through the whole body. If you'd like to, maybe float your hand to your shin and lift the chest. The top hand can lift to the sky. And if you're feeling very confident in your balance, float the bottom hand off the floor. Release the fingers to the floor so you've got some support here. You may want to take this into sugarcane by bending into the top leg and then rotating the chest open. So just like we did in the kneeling position, you want an arch in the back. One more breath. Release the sugarcane and then exhale the hands to the floor, rotating your hip now to face down. As you lift your head, inhale, and then exhale the head to the earth as you float your foot up towards the sky. Again, you may want to play with a balance here by bringing one hand behind the ankle and helping to pull the chest into the shin a little bit more. Maybe you want to bring both hands behind the ankle. Release the fingers to the floor. Heel toe your foot a little bit more to the left side of the mat, just so you have some space next to you. And then that top leg is going to bend behind your standing leg, just tucking in, squeezing the thigh in, and then inhale to lift the leg back up. Exhale, bend, curl in, tuck those thighs to touch. This time, float the fingers off the floor, bringing the hands in line with the hips, and then fingers down, leg lifts up. One more time, bending in, squeeze the thighs together, float the fingers off the floor, and I'll see if you can keep your fingers off the floor as you lower to sit. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Floating the hands to the sky. Bringing right hand back, left arm around the shin. Breathing into the space. You're now going to rotate facing the opposite side, so hands coming to the left side of the body. We're now going to turn the body all the way around, so pay attention to what you're doing here. You want to end up facing forward again. So you're going to lift up onto the toes, keep your toes on the floor, turn backwards, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, until you're facing the front of your mat again. Tuck the foot back, And you are now in Gormukhasana. Inhale here, and then gently release. Inhale to sit yourself back up. So the left leg should now be on the top. You're going to take the left foot and tuck it so that your heel lines up with your thigh. So tuck both feet in nice and tight here, working towards Mrichiyasana. So you want your knee wider than the shoulders. You can bring your arm to the inside of the thigh. Press forward as far as you can. The right hand pushes into the mat behind you to help give you some space. And then you wrap the arm around the shin, taking the right hand behind, interlocking fingers, and gently forward folding. Inhale to find your way back to center, releasing the hands, taking hold of the front foot so you're interlocking your fingers around the ball of that front foot, and then lifting the heel in line with the knee. Kick your heel to help lift your spine up as tall as you can. So once you've got a straight back, then you can start to straighten the leg out as well. Remember, the spine is always more important than the hamstring. So work the spine first and the hamstring second. Bringing the right hand to the outer edge of the pinky toe side of the foot, and then reaching the left hand away. And again, the knee can stay bent here. Either way, you're kicking the heel out, whether the leg is bent or straight, to create that upright effect into the torso. Let's bring the hand to cross over and start to now lift your leg up straight. So if your knee is bent, you're just starting to work on straightening the leg as best you can. If the leg is straight, you're starting to lift the foot towards the head. And then releasing from here. Cross both ankles in front of you. Roll over onto the tops of the feet. You can choose to step back or press into the feet and hop back into downward facing dog. Take a full round of breath in your downward facing dog. Floating left leg to the sky and stepping the foot forward, warrior two pose. Check what's happening in the feet. Lifting through the thighs, lifting through the lower back. Taking it into a flying warrior. Let's pivot forward into Pasva. Finding a comfortable space for the neck, and then sinking the hips down a little bit deeper. Really stretching from that heel to top finger. Inhale back to warrior two and straighten the front leg. One heel, one toe of the back foot, and then reaching forward for krunchasana. Finding straight lines in your triangle pose. Don't forget about the inner thighs here. Anchoring through front and back foot evenly. Inhale to lift into reclining triangle. And then back to center. Moving now into our Ardha Chandrasana. Back hands to the hip, and then reach your fingers 20 centimeters in front of the baby toe, floating the back leg to the sky. So find that engagement from heel to head. It is the engagement of the back leg that makes the body light. As soon as that leg is floppy, it becomes dead weight, and the whole body starts to sink. Maybe you want to bring the hand to the shin. Maybe you want to float your top hand up. Maybe you want to float the bottom hand. Maybe taking this into sugarcane. Or staying at any stage in your half moon balance. Let's release the hands to the floor, turning the hip and lifting that leg to the sky. Inhale and exhale to fold. Coming into your standing splits. Maybe bringing one hand behind the ankle and then wrap the elbow behind the calf to help pull your head to the earth. Maybe you can take the full balance by bringing both hands behind the ankle. Releasing the fingers, heel toe your foot more to the right side, and then we're playing with our balance here by tucking the top knee behind, squeezing those thighs to touch. Inhale the leg up. Exhale, squeezing in, wrapping the thighs. This time, float the hands off the floor. Releasing down, the leg comes up. One more time, squeezing those thighs in. Floating the fingers off the floor. And now see if you can keep your fingers off as you gently lower down and draw the hands to the sky. Left hand back, right arm to hook around your shin. Twisting into Ardha Matsyendrasana. Inhale to rotate center, and then bring the hands to the right side of the mat. So we're going to do that 360-degree turn. So make sure you turn all the way to the front of the mat. Lift onto the toes. Keep those toes down. Don't lift the toes. Turning all the way around until you're facing the front of the mat again. So now the right leg should be on top. Squaring off the hips and gently forward folding into Gomukha Asana. Lifting yourself back up here. Let's take the right leg out into Marichyasana. So just align the feet up in front of that right thigh. And then tuck them right in. The closer the legs are towards the torso, the more space you have to get the shoulder forward for the bind. Let's draw the face and shoulders towards the mat now. Gently releasing from your krunchasana, holding onto the ball of that front foot. Lift the heel up in line with the knee. Kick the heel away and find how the spine grows tall. And then maybe you want to lengthen the leg as well in your krunchasana. Just keep checking in with that back. If your back starts to round, re-bend the knee. Sit right up onto the tips of the sitting bones. Grow the head away. Let's take us into the twist, holding to the outer edge of the foot with the left hand as the right hand kicks back. Now reach heel and fingers in opposite directions. Rotate the rib cage to help deepen this twist. Let's cross the back hand over the front, hooking to the big toe side. Either start to straighten your leg or start to draw the straight leg to the face. And then gently releasing from here. We're going to cross the legs in front of you. Sit into an upright position just for a moment, finding softness, finding stillness. And then bring the legs out in front. Making a way to lie down on your back, either come straight down or very slowly through a core roll. Bending the knees, coming into half bridge pose. Hands flat next to the hips. Let's curl the tailbone to the sky. Walking the shoulder blades underneath the back body, interlocking the fingers if you have the space to do that. Make sure you're finding space into the lower back, but gently lifting into the pubic bone, opening up the heart, opening the front body. If you've got space to lift a little bit higher, you're going to bring the hands underneath the hips. And then gently rolling back down to the floor. Tucking the tailbone as you lower down. Bring the heels wide, the knees together. Arms open in a T shape. Draw the knees into the chest, flattening through the lower back, and then lifting the feet into happy baby. Maybe you want to gently roll from one side to the other. Bringing the knees together again. Curl the knees in tightly towards the body. Keep them close to the chest as you open the arms out. And then dropping the knees over towards the armpit. So the lower back is quite round in your twist. Let's take a nice big inhale here. And then exhale to sigh the breath out. Drawing the knees back close into the chest, over to the left-hand side. Checking that that back is still very round here. So this is a very gentle twist. Drawing the knees back up to center And now bring the knees slightly away from the rib cage, more into a tabletop. Exhale to drop to the right. Notice how the twist is slightly shifted. Inhale to the center, maintaining that tabletop, and over to the left. Coming back to the center, straightening the legs this time, and dropping the toes towards the right fingers. You're going to hold here for a little while. You may want to place your hand onto the calf muscle to help create a bit of weight and release. Close your eyes and really working into softening, relaxing, and releasing into this pose. Let's come back up to the center and dropping the toes to the left fingers. Again, you can hold onto the calf if that feels good. Closing your eyes here. Releasing, letting go. Coming back up to the center, hug the knees into the chest. And then making your way into Shavasana. Spreading the hips gently, opening the chest, slightly tucking the chin down to lengthen the back of your neck. Move the body in any way that feels good for you. Sometimes opening the facial muscles can be quite nice. Working into the jaw. And open the mouth really wide. And then relax, sticking the tongue out to the tip of your chin. And then releasing from there. Finding still. Finding quiet. slowly start to deepen and lengthen your breath. Running your thumb over the tips of your fingers, moving your toes, ankles and wrists, sliding your feet together and extending your arms overhead, taking a deep, energizing stretch as you yawn or sigh, bending your knees, rolling over onto your side in a fetal position. Noticing the shift of energy as you lie in your corpse pose into your fetal position. And then gently lifting up into a comfortable seated space in your lotus pose. Let's draw the hands together at the heart center in Anjali Mudra. And just remind yourself of the intention that you set at the beginning of today's practice. Holding that intention without judgment. And we'll close the class by chanting Om once and Shanti 3 times. Taking a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Raising my hands to your third eye. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Lowering your hands to your lips, to your heart, to your mat, bowing forward in recognition of your practice. Blinking eyes open, inhaling to lift. Namaste.